right, folks, you are looking at the ultimate bird trap, And I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes after I show you how I made this bird trap. Um, I used the 1 inch by 1 inch. So you got 1 inch by 1 inch. It's the 1 inch squared fencing, caging, whatever you want to call it. This thing is roughly about, I'm going to say about 18 inches deep. So the side walls are roughly 18 inches. And it's about 2 feet tall. And so it's 2 by 18. 2 by 18. Now you can make this, I don't know, you can make it out of anything. Chicken wire if you wanted to. It'd be flimsy, but it would work. You can make it out of the rabbit cage material, the 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch instead of the 1 inch by 1 inch. You can make it out of anything that a bird could not escape from. And 95% of this is made out of this material. The wiring to hold it together is this material. The door, along with the 2x4, see, I got it reinforced with the, see that one in there, 2x4. And yeah, it's just reinforced with that. And what I do is I always put a rock on the door to hold it down. And that's why I want that reinforcement there. The only other thing I have that is not a 1 inch by 1 inch fencing material is a gutter guard that I put on the breezeway or the hallway or walkway. Let's call it the walkway to death. The walkway to death. So I just had that lying around just like this stuff. And I put it on the floor to make it easier for little Miss or Mr. Birdie to hop in. Now, the only other thing you're going to want to do that I don't have here is you're going to want to put like a stick in there like so. And when you go to set this thing up, and that way Mr. or Miss Birdie can just hop right on there, fly and boom. Or they can jump up and hop right on there and hop their way in to the walkway of death. All right, and so what I've done now, folks, I've caught bird, but I've turned them loose. I'm not advocating you going out and catching birds and eating them and killing them. I'm not even advocating you catching them and turning them loose. You should probably just leave them alone. That probably wouldn't hurt to try this thing out. But other than that, don't mess with them unless you're in a shift, a stuff hit the fan situation where you have to eat. There's all kinds of laws against catching birds, trapping birds, and that sort of thing. But the law to live trumps all laws. So if you're in a situation where you have to do something like this, then, well, you have to do what you have to do to survive, folks. Anyway, so bird comes along. You throw a little seed, and this is what I've done. Throw a little seed down here. Not much, just a little. I don't want to get the bird full. A bird eats it, and it sees more in here, so it hops up and walks in here because it cannot fly in here. So something's got to come out here where it can land on it and then hop its way in. Now, once it goes in, it's walking in, this minding its own business, pecking and eating the sunflower seed along the way. Well, there's no more sunflower seed. And so what it does, you've got a pile of it right down there on the floor of the cage, of the trap. And so it hops down. Now, it hops down to eat the sunflower or whatever bread, whatever you got down there. Folks, that's it. That's it. The bird is not getting out unless the door is open. Because, folks, let's flip this thing around. Let's flip her around and take a peek. Oh, goodness gracious. So the bird's inside, eating away, and then it's done. It's full. It's ready to go home, and it's going to feed its babies. But no, you caught it. So the babies are going to die, but you get to live. Anyway, folks, so it's eating, it's done, it turns around to fly back out, but guess what, folks? it can't fly out. The only way it can get out is through the door, and the door is closed. The bird is trapped. See, in order for the bird to get out of here, it has to be able to keep its wings closed and jump and hop on the gutter guard I have here. It's impossible for a bird to do that. It's not going to ever do that. Folks, this floor of the walkway to death is 3 inches shorter than the walls and the ceiling. 3 inches shorter. And then that way it can drop down easily. But when it goes to get up, no, it hits the walls. It hits the bottom of the walls. It can't do it. It can't do it without its wings being open. And if the wings are opened, it can't get through, folks. So it is trapped. Okay, so I took a 6-inch or 5.5-inch piece of, let's say, a 6x6 of the 1-inch by 1-inch caging or fencing, and I just bent it and put it up under here. For a support. Yeah, you can see how I did that, folks. You can see how I made that. I don't even have to explain it to you. You can see. It's about 1 foot long. Yeah, and it's about what? 3.5. Oh, let's count them. 1, 2, 3 inches wide. Foot long, 3 inches wide. Oh, I would say it's every bit of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.5 or so tall. 5.5, 6 inches tall. Probably 6 inches would be good. All right, so you can see what I did here. I didn't go buy a bunch of wire or anything. See this? So, yeah, this is this right here. This is just a part of this. So what I did, the vertical or the horizontal piece that goes along, I just snipped it off, and so I had my wire. I snipped it off, had my wire, and I just simply bent it like that to hold it all together. Did it throughout the whole thing. The whole thing's done that way, folks. Yeah, very easy, very cheap. Very easy, very cheap. What else? The door, and got it wired like that. The floor's the 1-inch by 1-inch. I mean, very simple and very cheap. Remember, though, listen careful. When you go to make this, the floor needs to be about 3 inches shorter than the walls and the ceiling. It just works out perfect. Listen to me. Trust me, folks. All right. Let's see. Let's flip her back around, take a look at her, and talk for just a moment. Now, I made this, and then I cut my hole, slid this in there, and let it poke out 1 inch, and then just wired it up. And remember what I said up underneath it, to hold it in here, I just used the fencing, bent it, and used it. Yeah, very simple. The ultimate, folks, bird trap. Now listen, I've caught birds in this and turned them loose. This thing works. A little bit of seed. You got your stick. It hops on the stick. It waltzes in, chasing the sunflower along the way. Don't feed it too much. Keep most of the feed inside. Bread, whatever it is, sunflower seeds. Keep most of that on the inside. That way it's still hungry, still looking for food. Walking along, and boom, it's over. All right, folks. That's about it. Hey, listen. We live in a very, very strange and uncertain world right now. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's around the corner. Folks, this administration that is running this country, they are clowns. Folks, listen, I want you to put yourself in the Russians' shoes, Eastern folks that live in Eastern Europe, put yourself in their shoes. Russia, folks in the Middle East. Folks in China and India, folks south of the border. Put yourself in their shoes for a minute. You've got the strongest, most powerful military in the world, the most powerful economic force in the world, the strongest country in the world is ran by a bunch of clowns. Can't trust them. It's craziness, folks. You can't trust them. They lie all the time, and it goes all the way down to local governments. Anyway, I want you to put yourself in others' shoes, the Russians, the Chinese. Put yourself in their shoes. They're looking over here saying, oh my goodness, they could wipe us off the face of the earth. And look how they're acting. They're clowns. This is scary. This is scary. That's what they're thinking. And so a lot of what is going on around the globe, it has to do with that. It does, folks. And our world is nuts. We don't know what's going to happen. Folks, we could easily get into that war over there in Ukraine. Oh, that could happen so easily. These warmongers want that. The folks that are running the country, they're warmongers, and they're dying and itching to do that. To hop right in there and send your children to their death. They want to send your children to their death. I don't want to get too off track here of the old bird trap. But that is the kind of world we're living in today. A crazy, crazy world, folks. And so you need to prepare. I want you to picture something. I want you to picture China, Russia, somebody detonating a nuclear bomb a mile above us. They do it over Kansas. It knocks the power out. The whole United States. Yeah. Picture that for a minute. Well, you don't have much food in the house. You got a little bit of food storage. Yeah, it's scary. There's 11 people that depend on you. Yeah, there's grandma and grandpa and the whole crew. Yeah, and there's no electricity, folks, which means there's no transportation. There's no way to get food if there were food, but there's no food. Yeah, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Things are getting tough. Folks in the neighborhood going around stealing, looking for what they could get. Well, they're starving. Yeah. So you got to have two people all the time kind of walking the property, keeping an eye on things, while two other adults are cleaning and cooking what food you have. They're cooking it, and they're keeping things clean and washing clothes down at the old creek. Every adult is busy. Well, a lot of folks are fishing all day down at the lake. 8 hours for one brim. Yeah. A lot of folks wasting ammunition, shooting at birds. And it's very seldom that they get one. Wasting the ammo. Yeah. Yeah, folks sit in the woods all day long with a gun. Come home with nothing. Just wasted time. But you being smart and being a prepper, well, you made this bird cage along with 5 others. You've got 6 of these. You made them in the good times. Didn't even spend any money on them. Yeah, you found all the stuff to make these things. Yeah. Well, you not only made 6 of these, you were smart. You made 6 fish traps. You made 3 crawfish traps. You made some minnow traps. Yeah, for bait. Yeah. You've got live cage traps along with all kinds of other traps that are probably not so humane. Got to do what you got to do, folks. Yeah. Oh, and you've got these traps set up everywhere. Food started getting low. Well, no, you were smart. So before food started getting low, everybody had a job. Everybody has a job. Everybody's busy. Nobody has time to hunt and fish all day. You've got to chop firewood. It's getting cold outside. The evenings are cold. And the wood stove is burning. Folks, you were smart. You made these before food even started getting low. Well, as soon as the electricity went out, you tried to stay away from your food storage. And you went and set these out. 6 out, all up and down the mountain. And then you went down to the creek and you set out minnow traps, crawfish traps. You went down to the lake and found spots where, hard to get to, folks don't really go to. And you put 6 fish traps out. Spread them apart there. But you put 6 fish traps out. You got some live animal cage traps out there as well. And, on last Monday, you caught 2 squirrels, 3 birds, and 4 fish. And you caught about 6 crawdads and some minnows for bait. Yeah. And then Tuesday, it was a little different, but it was about the same. And then Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. You didn't sit out there with a gun. No, you took 30 minutes a day and you went and gathered your food. You went and harvested your food. You didn't catch it. It caught itself. This caught it. This caught it. Are you listening to me? It's important to have these already made. And folks, listen. Oh, I'll never use those. I'll never use them. Your grandchildren might. Your children might. The chances of my grandchildren using this, they're pretty high. I may not ever have to use it, but my grandchildren probably will. Yeah, folks, so you got to chop firewood. Yeah, Jimmy and Judy, they got to patrol and kind of forage wild edibles and medicinals as they patrolled the property, just making sure no one's doing something they shouldn't be, sneaking up, trying to steal something, because folks are hungry, folks are desperate. And so, the patrolling went on, the firewood chopping went on. Yeah. Oh, Sammy and Levi, you like that name, Levi? Well, they got to cook and clean. Yeah, they were cooking and cleaning all day, along with washing clothes down at the creek. Yeah. And somebody had to make soap. Somebody had to teach all of the kids. Somebody got to teach. Kids got to learn. So somebody had to take time to do that. See, folks, you were able to do all that because you had the ultimate bird trap. Yeah. Wasn't sitting down there fishing all day, and then somebody out hunting all day, and then somebody getting bait. Yeah. You got 3 squirrels, 4 birds, 6 fish, a pail full of minnows, and 12 crawfish. Yeah. Not the kind of things I like to eat. Not the kind of things I eat. But if I am hungry, I'm going to eat what's placed before me. That law to live trumps all laws, folks. You got to live. You got to live. Anyway, folks, we'll see you.